One of America's favorite TV dads, Bob Saget, has died. Saget was a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s, Danny Tanner on Full House. And every Sunday night, the Red, White, and Blue, The Funny Things You Do, America's Funniest Home Videos. I loved that show. An initial autopsy found no drug use or foul play. He was 65. I'm joined tonight by comedy writer, author, host of Comedy Matters TV, and friend of the late Bob Saget, Jeffrey Gurian. Jeffrey, how did you two meet?
It's a very funny thing because on video, Bob says he's known me for his whole career. And I met him many years ago, and I don't remember how we met, but we clicked immediately. And starting in 2007, I was doing a book that Chris Rock wrote the introduction for, and it was called Make 'Em Laugh, and it was a book about the history of the comic strip. And as you know, it's important to get celebrity blurbs for the book. So I put out the word to a bunch of friends, and Bob Saget gave me, if you don't mind, I'll read this to you. On the back of the book it says, no matter how many years pass, I can never say no to Jeff Gurian. Hence this quote on his book's back cover, Bob Saget. And he's...
That's great, because then nobody can say no to Jeffrey Gurian. Can I ask you, you had this great relationship with him. Most of the public, we saw it this way. Bob Saget had two top shows in the 80s and 90s, which we all sat and laughed and loved, and we felt like we knew him. You actually did know him. What was he like?
You know, he was literally one of the nicest guys in show business. Had such a beautiful heart. He would go out of his way to do anything for anybody, despite the fact that he had a lot of tragedy in his life, you know. He would come out for charities all the time. His main charity was scleroderma because he lost one of his sisters to scleroderma. And one of the last times I interviewed him was at Madison Square Garden when he came out for the Garden of Laughs, which is a charity for needy children. And he was, as big a star as he was, that's how humble he was.
Do you think he knew how much we all loved him?
I hope so. I always wonder things like that, you know. There's a tendency not to believe it, you know. I think that people in general, it's hard for them to grasp. You know, when I was so sick and I got so much support, it made me think it's a shame that people have to be so sick in order to know that people care about them. Because in our everyday life, we don't tell people how much we care about them. But whenever I saw Bob, it was always big hugs, and he was just a very giving guy.
It's really pretty amazing in the last day to see the impact. We've heard so many comedians say, I looked up to him. I wanted to do what he did. We've heard former co-stars on these mega shows saying, I called him for years afterward, and he was always there for me. That really tells you something.
Yeah, because he didn't have to do that. When you reach a certain level of fame, certain people change, their personality changes, but he never let that happen to him. He was just a very giving person, is the best way to describe him.
And as you say, Bob Saget was doing what he loved until his very last day and hours. It is something of a comfort to know that not only did America love him, but that he had a group of friends around him that he shared a lot of love with behind the scenes. Jeffrey Gurian, thank you so much for being generous enough to share some of these stories with us.
And thank you so much for having me. It's a shame it has to be such a sad day, but I appreciate being able to talk about him. He was a dear friend.